one more brief speaker. Alisha Ragland, whose name I mangled earlier, was born and raised here on the peninsula. She's the first person in her family to graduate from college. She's currently pursuing her master's degree in applied anthropology, and she is the co-chair of the Monterey County Nonviolent Action Committee. Please give a warm welcome to Alisha Ragland.
Thank you. My name is Alisha Ragland, co-chair of Monterey County. Thank you for the beautiful introduction. First of all, I would like to acknowledge that this event is being held on Ohlone Costanoan Esselen Nation land. They've lived in this location for over 15,000 years, and I'd like to pay my respects to their elders past, present, and emerging. As a Chumash descendant, thank you. As a Chumash descendant, I thank the elders from all nations and all traditions for their guidance and wisdom, without which this planet's beautiful and resilient indigenous cultures would not be here today. On November 8th, I experienced some new lows of human emotion, and I don't think I'm alone in that, some of which have resurfaced today. For 3 days, I was a complete mess. I could hardly function, and I couldn't even talk about it without crying. The only thing that motivated me to get out of bed was to seek the advice of my elders in order to make sense of what was happening in the world and my place within it. It's important for me to seek the advice of my elders because they've been through far worse times and transitions of power than I have, so far. I'm not only referring to American Indian elders, or the elderly in general, although they all have their value, and I hope we work really hard to acknowledge that as well. There are many types of elders, and there are a lot of elders with us right now, from the civil rights movement, from the environmental justice movement, and the peace movement. Elders from organizations who have endorsed this event. And they have strategies for working within the community, and they have ways that we can help them serve the community. These organizations are spending their time and energy providing services that are enriching our culture here on the peninsula. You should get to know them, volunteer, donate if you can. We're going to need your help. I'm going to need your help someday. If you are lucky enough to live long enough, you're going to need someone's help one day. That's what community is about. It's not about being owned by our mortgages, by our illnesses, or our crippling student debt. Fighting for justice requires spending more time outside of your home, in public, meeting people, making connections, and right now that's our challenge. Our challenge is to rise above our own personal issues to sustain a community of justice for all. It's not going to be easy, and it's going to be a lot of work. We're going to have to put in a lot of work, just like our elders did. Listening to their stories of how they overcame, adapted, and resisted oppression is crucial in giving us a sense of hope for the future, but also in understanding the context of those struggles and those strategies. We need to understand what happened in the past, even though it might be uncomfortable. For example, California Indians are the survivors of a genocide, but we're still here. And the fact that we're still here should tell you this: human beings are resilient. We're resilient, thank you. We're resilient when we stand together and take care of each other. I'm not going to stand in front of you today and say that we're all going to make it, because some of us might not. And I'm specifically talking about the 20 million people who might lose our health care. I'm talking about the 11 million undocumented Americans who may lose their jobs, homes, and become separated from their families. Americans who live on Indian reservations without running water, whose water supply might be threatened by state-sponsored corporate greed. I'm talking about the millions of black and brown American children who may grow up without parents because their neighborhoods are over-policed. The next several years may be devastating, and we have to take care of each other. Just like California Indians resisted tyranny and took care of each other. Survival as a form of resistance. But we have to talk about things that are uncomfortable. We have to talk about things like genocide, racism, sexual assault, Islamophobia, the violence of living in poverty, and this country's obsession with war. Why are we talking about the 26,000 bombs dropped during the Obama administration alone? That's 72 bombs a day, 3 explosions every hour, 24 hours, 7 days a week. We need to at least talk about these things or nothing will change. We live in a culture where it's considered impolite to talk about politics or religion, but the so-called winning presidential candidate can talk about grabbing women's vaginas and publicly encourage his mob of angry supporters to use violence as a mean of dealing with protesters. If we hide from these horrible things that happened in our country's past, they're going to come back to haunt us, and we have been hiding from them, haven't we? And they're haunting us now, aren't they? Not all of us have the privilege of hiding from unpleasant things. If you're black, you can't hide your skin from cops who shoot you because they fear you and they've been trained to be afraid of you. If you're brown, you cannot hide your skin from those who hate you because they don't understand you. If you know you're a woman, you can't hide this from men who want to harm you or from politicians who want to control what you do with your body, when you do it, and how you do it. We didn't ask for this, and we're not going to ask for protection. We're not going to ask for human and civil rights. We're going to demand them, and we're going to stand up for each other, put in work for each other, educate each other. That's what my ancestors did, and that's what we need to do. If you are Muslim, if you are trans, if you are undocumented, if you are gay, if you have a mental illness or live with a disability, you should not have to hide in order to survive. We should be treated with dignity and respect because we simply cannot afford anything less than that. We're all going to end up in the same place. I don't know about you. I don't want to wait that long for equality. I want to know that I did something now to impact change. I want to help make someone's life easier and safer, and I want to do that from a place of love. Not hate, not fear, not guilt. Love. And I want to do that here in Monterey County, where I live and love, and I hope you all will join me. Thank you.